Ringo and Paul trying hard to create a flow with the girls. It's not working. Okay? So then eventually, yeah, you bitches got somewhere to go? If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, and subscribe, because it is so important to our success here on the YouTube. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's talk about Mary Wilson's DreamGirl. My Life is a Supreme. I don't even know the numbers no more. I'm trying to hurry up and get this shit out of here so we can move on to our next book. Not that I don't respect the Mary, but I'm trying to get to the coldest winter ever. Okay. Where we left off, okay, we got all the girls are now living in the same housing development. Not the projects, but you know how they have, cascades, And a young Mary Wilson has fell in love with a four top. Which one? Duke. Dookie. Now, also in the previous part, we learned that the Supremes was getting ready to make history because they was fitting to play at the Copacabana. Okay, that was a big deal up there in New York. Okay, that was way beyond the chitlin circuit, because the chitlin circuit was focused on black entertainment. Once my house was finished, he moved in with me, and we became known as the sweethearts of Motown. Despite Barry's concern over what the public might think if I put mirrors over my bed, nothing was said about Duke and me living together. Okay, now the problem was this: Duke was still married, right? Motherfucker, the people don't get divorced no more. But I'm telling you, that's the trick, girl. That is the trick. Them dudes stay married, even though they don't even be knowing where their wives be living. They stay married so then they don't have to marry you. You're welcome. Okay, I just gave you that. Y'all owe me something. Duke was a man's man. And many times when we were home, he'd call and say, "Sweet Pea, I'm bringing some of the guys over for dinner." I'd cook up a big meal and we'd all hang out. They would hang out all right because that was the party house, much like the house that I grew up in, okay? Mary Wilson said it was times that she would get up, go downstairs and make dinner for her boo-boo, okay? And it'd be some drunky poo face down on the carpet, passed out, because why? Her house was the party house. Diane and Barry wasn't there because they was somewhere, secret rendezvous. We rehearsed for the Copa date for over 4 months. Our success there would be a milestone for Motown, and Barry wanted to be sure nothing went wrong. Once the artist development people finished with us, we were ready. Among the new tricks we learned was a classic hat and cane routine Charlie Atkins taught us for Rock-a-Baby. For Rock-a-Bye Your Baby with a Dixie melody, which we loved doing. Now, this is the issue, okay? So, because the Supremes do the Copacabana was such a big deal, it was a lot of pressure on the girls. Now, during these rehearsals with the dude, Maurice, who is like a band leader or something like that, but he's another one of Berry DeGordy's peoples, okay? And Charlie Atkins would be there at the rehearsals for their show that they're doing at the Copacabana, Charlie and Maurice felt like Mary and Flo weren't as enthusiastic as Diana. Nobody can match Diana's energy. That's first of all, okay? And if you're using Diane as the, you know, like the what is the word I'm trying to say? But you know what I'm saying? But if you're using Diane as the status quo, I don't know if that's the right word, but as the example, then how in the heck is anybody ever supposed to match that? You know what I'm saying? That's me and her are two different type of people. But it was a concern because they felt like Flo and Mary were lackluster. And on top of that, whatever intricate little, you know, details that were a part of the show that Diane practiced over and over again to make sure that she was perfect at, she would be like, see, Charlie, I got it. Do, 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 do. Now, Mary and Flo looking at her like,
look at this bitch. She making us look bad, you bitch, you.
That they were not enthused about it. They loved it. It was just the point of, look, we're not her. Stop trying to make us be her. I caught on the quickest, and once I learned something, I knew it. Flo still would have to work at things to make them look smooth. If she made a mistake, it would upset her. But she would work at it until she got it right. Go Flo. I love Flo's tenacity. I love her spirit. So moving forward, right? Now, Diane is starting to disrespect the girls in public. Murray said that once on a TV show, Diane said that she felt slighted because she did most of the work. And she didn't feel that she should be getting the same amount of money as Flo and Murray. Didn't we start this shit together? Didn't we start? No, what it is you sucking more than the rest of the girls. That's what it is, Diane. I love you, Diane DeRose. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. As we got closer to the opening, Diane began refusing to comply with Maurice and Charlie's wishes. Now, as the Copacabana gig got closer, okay, Diane is starting to buck, right? Now, remember, Charlie and Maurice was loving the Diane because they felt like she was the most enthusiastic about the upcoming event or residency at the Copacabana. There's a concern. Charlie and Maurice would give her direction. She'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this, okay? And if Charlie would say, I don't give a F what you want to do. You want to do this. No. She would get on the phone, call Bird DeGordy. They tripping over here. Okay, I'm the star of this. You better tell these ninjas to make it work for me in my way. And she would get her frigging way. You fire signs, y'all really do be dealing with attitude problems. Okay, and because y'all have these attitude problems, people don't want to deal with your attitude. So they tiptoe around you. In turn, making you even worse. Okay, now I'm telling you the truth. Don't get mad at me. Okay, because everything I'm saying here is backed up by Bird DeGordy, who is a Sagittarius, and Diana Ross, who's an Aries. That's the greatest combination in the world. It's fiery. You hear what I'm saying? Now, it's tumultuous, but it works. Flo, Diane, and I were being interviewed for an important European magazine feature when we heard Diane announce that her real name was Diana. This was the first Flo and I had heard of this. Apparently, the name Diana was on her birth certificate, and she wouldn't start using it immediately. Flo and I couldn't believe our ears. We just stared at each other and continued to call her ass Diane. Yeah, I would do that too, just to annoy her. That this was just one more step away from us, one more way of setting herself apart. The change bothered Flo most, not because of what Diane had done, but because of the secret way she did it. Why surprise us? Now, that was another thing. That is actually the big problem. It does appear that Diane is like this villainous person, but she's not. I look at her as someone who had the mindset to get there, okay? She wasn't trying to make sure that all of us was in a good position, because for real, you can't, when you, it's some people that are we, and it's some people that are me, okay? Diane was me. And you can't expect her to be no more than me. At this time, Flo and I were still hopeful that we might be singing more leads or have solo spots in the live shows. Little did we know that our fates were sealed. When Bird Gordy had the meeting, or he said, y'all go have a meeting, what part of you won't be singing no more? Diane's taking all the leads. Did y'all not understand? I mean, you young, so I believe, okay, all right. It would be more advantageous for you guys to just go with the program. So this was another thing that blew me, okay? They all sitting at the table to be interviewed, right? But what slowly started to happen was the interviewer is talking to Flo. Flo, how you feel, Flo? But all of a sudden, this person over on this end is talking. Ain't nobody talking to you, Diane. Why in the hell are you talking? Diane is now the spokesperson for the group. Not because that was a conversation that was had. Not because, it was in the meeting. No, it was because Diane took it upon herself. Again, you can't be mad at the Diane for seeing, the top and reaching for it. For real, Flo, why didn't you say, you thicky poo, why you ain't say, Diane, I can answer my own damn questions? Again, y'all adding to the bad behavior by not sticking up for yourselves. So Ed Sullivan had predicted our success, and we received nothing but raves for all of our shows. Mr. Podell took no chances. After all, the Supremes were the first black pop group of the 60s to play the Copa, and one of the youngest. So anyway, they the youngest and the blackest to do the Copacabana, okay? Mr. Podell is the management owner type thing, okay? He not playing with you girls. Girls, I'm taking a big deal, or I'm taking a big chance. Y'all come around here and singing on the Copacabana stage, girl. This better be right. Motown went into action like an army on maneuvers, and pretty soon everyone had something to do with the Supremes. Barry's younger sister, Gwen Gordy, Fuqua, that's Harvey Fuqua's wife, helped with our wardrobe, okay? And that was a flop. Okay, that was a flop. That was a mess. Okay, because the girls is wearing gowns because they're supposed to be so classy and sophisticated. Okay, Gwen Gordy designed an outfit and that shit was a mess. Child, she had feathers and stuff all around the girls, and she said it was like all kinds of poofs and feather debris all over the stage. Right? They said they had to do some kind of alterations to the dresses. Okay, but Gwen Gordy learned that day, bitch, you ain't no fashionista. That's what you shouldn't do. Okay, you should not create costumes because we look a mess on there. It is opening night at the Copacabana. Okay, the club was packed. Eddie Bisco, remember the white dude that Diane used to hunch down there in the DMV area? Well, now Eddie Bisco is up in New York helping out with this show. Okay, he is in charge of making sure that everyone was comfortable. Or, are you okay? Do you need anything? Yeah, I take some boogity sugary. Do you have any? That's what I mean. That's what I think. Which is, are you okay? Do you need anything? Yeah. Do you got some pee in your back pocket? That's what I think. We have another situation, right, where Diane and Charlie had got into it. Diane wanted to change a move while they was at the Copacabana. Charlie said, absolutely not. Bitch, who are you? I'm Charlie. I am the choreographer. This is what I do. I choreograph. Okay? So what I want you to do, Diane, is what you're going to do. Because they're doing a Copacabana residency, the girls are still there in New York doing the residency. Okay? Charlie had to leave to do something. Maybe he had to go back to Detroit, be a father to somebody. I don't know. Okay? But by the time that Charlie got back to the Copacabana to make sure that everything was cool, following up 1, 2, 3, the steps that they do, he realized that Diane wasn't doing things the way that he needed it to be done, or the way he said it was going to be done. He got in contact with Bertie Gordy and was like, look, you better get this bitch, okay? Bertie Gordy's response was, yeah, Charlie, some things have been changed a little bit in your absence. I'm saying to myself, what kind of meow does Diane have? Things came to a head, though, when it was announced that Flo would no longer be doing her solo number, People, from Funny Girl. People, people who need people are the luckiest people. That was terrible, y'all, but love. Let me tell y'all something. That is one of my favorite Barbra Streisand movies. You hear me? Funny Girl resonates with me so much, y'all. So much. I just love it. Like, for you to be like this goofy girl, and then, as you grow up, people understand you, and realize you're funny. You know what I'm saying? And the only person really who understood my funny back then was BFF. Michelle, I will love you forever. Flo responded to these events in a way that would become habitual for her. She would get defensive, and no matter what Barry said, she would disagree. Unlike Barry, Flo could not separate the personal from the professional. You were either her friend all the way, in every way, or you were nothing to her. She started bucking at Barry every time he said something, okay? Because that's that resentment inside of her, burling. You know what I'm saying? And Diane, her being an Aries, you bitches have the tendency to be selfish. I love ya. I love ya. Okay? But because Diane is Diane, she's not taking up for her friend. She has the power to go in the room with Barry Gordon and be like, hey, look, you better take care of Flo. Okay? Matter of fact, fuck all that you talking about. The Supremes is number one around here. This is what I want. Not just me, but all of us. Okay? And as a matter of fact, when I leave the group, because I am going to leave, I'm going to leave y'all. But as a matter of fact, I want you to make sure that all my girls, every last one of them, Flo and Mary, be taken care of when I leave. Shelley Berger, we've definitely heard that name before, okay, who was an actor turned agent, actually worked with the Supremes, okay? Now, this is the VIG, okay? Now, Berry Gordy hired Shelley Berger to work with the Supremes. Now, according to Mary, their fee at the Copacabana, once they finished this residency, had went up every year, okay? But Mary Wilson, the fees are going up, but is it going up to your bank account? All right, so pay attention, pay attention. Standing on stage, I could see that many men regarded Flo as the sexiest one, and critics never failed to mention her beautiful voice or brilliant timing. Flo could have gone far, and she knew that. Looking back, I suspect that Barry and Diane saw it also. Okay? But Flo needed support, and all she got from Motown were constant reminders to stay in her place. Okay? So let me say something else that I thought was quite foul. Okay? Somebody got in contact with Flo to do a movie role. Okay? Flo getting a movie role before Diana do, so that never came to fruition. No, nor did Flo even know that call was placed to her until much later. So that's telling me that the priority was Diana Ross. You want to hold the rest of the girls back so you can make her shine? As long as I had known Diane, she would pursue her goals until she achieved them. That's right. That's right, Mary Wilson. That's right. You cannot be mad at Diane for seeing something that she wanted and going after it. You can't be mad. And oh yeah, I'm sorry I stepped on your neck, but bitch, you know how I am. With the Supremes' new stardom, this characteristic took on new proportions. When I'd see her threatening to tell Barry about something or hanging on his every word, I'd flash back to the years before when she said to me, I'm going to get him. Mm-hmm. And she did. She told you, Mary. Another sad situation that I feel, right? So because Mary and Flo, they're being made to feel like they're just, consequences of Diana Ross. They decided that, let's improve our education. Let's go further. After all, Flo did want to go further in her education. Mary, she might not have been so eager to do so, but Flo was. So the two girls went to Berry to Gordy and said, Berry to Gordy, we want to bring tutors from schools, from local schools. What was the name of the school that they wanted to do? Wayne State University, okay? They wanted to borrow teachers from Wayne State University to go on the road with them and teach them different languages, teach them whatever subject that they wanted to learn, okay? Because they wanted to expand themselves. Berry shot it down. But later on, Mary Wilson and Flo found out that while they was hoping to get educated while on tour, Berry to Gordy and Diana Ross was in the daggone hotel room learning Frenchy Poo. Okay, learning whatever it was that they needed to learn. Berry was expanding Diane while suppressing Mary and Flo. Knowing we were black girls from the inner city, many of our colleagues, especially those from England who liked to romanticize the plight of the disadvantaged, were surprised to discover that we were dressed well off stage and comported ourselves like ladies. I shuddered to think what they were expecting. Okay, so what happened was, while they was in England back on tour, okay, the Beatles wanted a piece of the Supremes. Pay attention, I'm about to tell y'all something. Mary Wilson, I know you in heaven now, but I know you ain't green no more. Mary, I see you. You know exactly what's going on in this book, okay? And as a young person, when I first read this book, as a teenager, I didn't see all the little things that was in this book, but let me help you out with this one, okay? So they over there in London, okay? The Beatles want to meet them. Of course, they want to meet the girls, okay? Because they the Supremes, right? So they got a limo, they driving to the Beatles hotel, right? So I guess that's a celebrity thing because they don't want to go out in public. They want to be personable. Okay, in the hotels. You don't want to take me to Red Lobster or nothing. You just want me to just go to the hotel and meet you. Yes, that's what they do. We learned that from the Corinne Steffens book we read. We learned that from the Bobby DeBrown book we read. We learned that from the Aretha Franklin book we read. That's just what them celebrities do. They don't want to take you out nowhere. They just want to take you to the hotel. They getting out of the limousine, right? Okay, all the girls screaming. That's because they think the Beatles inside, right? But once the girls saw, it's them black bitches from the USA, okay? They turned their back and went back waiting for an opportunity to see the Beatles, okay? The girls go upstairs, okay, to the Beatles' room. Soon as they hit the room, they smelling marijuana, okay? Mary Wilson said that we all pretended like we couldn't smell it, okay? That right there should have told you what was going on. So they all sitting around, hey, la, la, la. Dry. Because the Beatles is confused. They looking at the girls. Hey, girls, what's going on with you? La, la, la. Okay? Mary Wilson said that the whole night was just awkward. Okay. They said John was in the corner just staring at whatever. We know, child, John has a propensity to want to take some kind of mind release type thing, okay? Shout out to John Lennon, my Libra brother, okay? But anyway, John in the corner, right? You got Ringo and Paul trying hard to create a flow with the girls. It's not working, okay? So then, eventually, you bitches got somewhere to go? Later on, Mary Wilson found Ringo's star again, right? Was it Ringo or George? I don't know. Anyway, Mary Wilson says, bruh, what happened that night years ago? He said, well, we thought you was party girls. Y'all was just too dry for us. Let me tell you something, Mary Wilson. Anybody else in earshot of me. I had to learn this the hard way too. Them ninjas wanted to, no matter what color they are, they asked you to come to the room because they wanted to know, did you want to party? Okay? And they automatically assumed because you were black girls who were from, a disadvantaged area that it would be easy for them to get the draws. Answer no. You can't get these draws. These are supreme draws. So they were disappointed that the girls weren't ready. to party. Okay? If they would have came to the door, smelled that marijuana, and said, Ringo, could you pass me a J? Oh, yeah, it's on and popping. But the Supremes weren't groomed that way. And nothing in this book say, that they would ever get down with the Beatles. Okay, but they tried it. I give them an A for effort. After a few moments, we wanted out. Years later, I was visiting George Harrison at his home in England, recalling that first meeting, he said. We expected soulful, hip girls. We couldn't believe that the 3 black girls from Detroit could be so square. Meaning, why y'all ain't give us no pussy? Now, remember when I told you back then that they had some chaperones? Answer no more. Okay? Because Diane is tired of the chaperones. Even her mammy, okay, is tired of chaperoning her daughter, okay, because she know her daughter is a piece of work. Diane is like, listen, I don't want to do this chaperone shiz no more. I don't understand why we have to do the chaperone shiz, okay? So now there's no more chaperones for the girls. Good. Now that there's no more chaperones, they're traveling with their own entourage of road managers, business managers, wardrobe people, and hairdressers. The days of scrunching up 3 to a lumpy bed, sleeping and changing on moving buses, and worrying about whether or not a restaurant would seat us were over now. Barry usually had a suite of his own near our rooms, and he kept an eye on us. Diane would have an adjacent room. Later, the entourage was shown by Chris Clark, a white female singer Barry had signed and whom he was also dating. He was? Did Diane and his wife know that he was dating a white lady named Chris? What's her name? Chris Clark? Did they know that? Now, if you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, and subscribe because it is so important to our success here on the YouTube. Now remember this. The same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies, y'all better have a good one. Ooh, ooh, ooh.